So it's 2018. I'm 19 at the time and I'm just starting university. I'm walking through the university campus and I'm looking for my first ever university lecture. And I'm terrified. This is going to be probably the hardest social situation I've ever been in. It's going to be a lecture hall with hundreds of strangers that I've never met in my life. I'm going to have to walk through there with everyone watching me, everyone judging me. I'm probably going to have to make small talk with the guy sitting next to me. It's terrifying, bro. My heart's racing. My armpits are so sweaty. I can barely breathe. I'm trying to plan the entire lecture, what I'm going to do before I even get there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk into the lecture hall as quickly as possible. I'm going to find an empty row and I'm going to sit by myself in that empty row. Oh, but what if someone comes and sits next to me? Okay, then I'll nod at them. I'll look at them. If they try to start a conversation with me, then okay, I'll talk about, what I'm studying, these interests I have. I'm planning out the entire lecture ahead of time, what I'm going to do, so I can be as prepared as possible. Anyway, I find the lecture, and I'm stood outside the lecture hall. It's like a big lecture theater. And, I collect myself, breathe, and I walk in. And exactly how I expected. There is hundreds of people all sitting everywhere. I'm entering the front of the room, which is worse. Everyone's looking down in that direction. And it feels like a monster, bro. It feels like I've just entered a boss battle. Everyone's looking at me. And, the door closes behind me just a little bit too hard and it makes some noise. And it feels like the entire room noticed and the attention's all on me, it feels like. And so, I can barely think. I can't even think to look for an empty row. I don't want to make eye contact with people. So without even thinking, I just put my head down and I head straight to the back row and I sit down. The lecture hall was packed, so I couldn't find an empty row. So I'm sitting next to a guy. I don't even look at him though. I just look straight ahead. And then the teacher says, okay guys, we're going to start the lecture. Be quiet. And I get a sense of relief because I no longer have to talk anymore. I don't have any expectations. The lecture's beginning. All attention's on the front. All attention's on the teacher. But then 10 minutes into the lecture, the teacher says the scariest words I ever wanted to hear. She says, okay guys, now we're going to do some icebreakers. Face the person next to you and play 2 truths and a lie, or whatever game we played. And my heart's racing. I'm like, oh, okay, I got to talk to this guy. And so I face him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I have a really awkward conversation. I barely remember what we did. I'm trying to play the game like, I'm from Australia and I don't know, you want to go first? I'm just like, I push my way through the conversation, whatever. It's awkward as hell. And then the lecture ends. I leave. I go home. And I think back to my day. I'm like, okay, that was a really awkward conversation. That was so far outside of my comfort zone. But, I did it. It's great. I'm making progress. Okay, so first let me give you an analogy of what it might feel like to be socially awkward and shy. It might feel nice and safe, right? Like you feel like you're on an island. That's nice and safe. By safe, I mean you go to a social situation and you do everything you can to feel safe, right? Like, for example, you stay in conversations as short as possible, or you try to always ask questions and put the conversation onto them, or maybe you'll go to class as late as possible to avoid small talk. You're on a nice, safe island right now, but it's a trash, crappy island, right? You want to be on this beautiful, lush island over there, which is like your free, authentic, confident self. That's what you want to be, right? But you're on this trash island right now. And there's this ocean between that's dangerous. And I call this the sea of awkwardness. This sea is basically being vulnerable, putting yourself out there in uncomfortable situations, expressing your true self. And it's dangerous because people can judge you. You try to be more expressive, you try to, share more with other people, you try to go to events you wouldn't normally go to, you can be judged. It's scary. But here's the thing, bro. You have to make that swim. You have to put yourself out there into danger, or you're not gonna ever reach that beautiful island where you're your confident, authentic self. Now I'll explain exactly how to do this later in the video. Because how do you learn to become more socially intelligent and more confident and be more authentic? Bro, you learn it through a lot of trial and error. So I'll give you an example. So I used to be very not expressive. Like I would never share my true thoughts, my true feelings. You know, like if someone said like, "Oh, bro, you looking forward to the party this weekend?" I would be like, maybe. Or I'd be like, yeah. When deep down I was like so hyped and excited, right? I wouldn't share that excitement. I wouldn't share my true feelings. And so in order to become more confident in that area and get better expressing my true feelings, I had to experiment. So I had to be like, okay, I'm going to try to be really expressive. So someone would be like, "Oh, bro, I just did this achievement yesterday. What do you think?" And I would be like, "Oh, that's so awesome. That's so amazing." And he'd be like, "Okay, that's a bit too much." And then I'd be like, "Okay, I was a bit too expressive there. Next time I'm going to tone it back a bit." And I'm just experimenting with the different ways of expressing myself and putting myself out there and facing judgment. And I had to go through a bunch of failures till I found the perfect way to express myself that aligned with how I wanted to be, or that aligned with what was comfortable and felt good for me. So that's what you have to do. You have to put yourself out there and experiment a lot to get socially intelligent and confident. But here's the thing, it's awkward because you're going to fail, right? You're going to like offend people. You're going to, say something really weird, or like, maybe you're learning how to like high five people and go for handshakes, and you're going to have awkward handshakes, awkward moments. Or you're practicing like making touch with people. You're going to do really awkward touches. You're going to be really creepy, really awkward. But bro, those awkward moments are necessary. And right now you're terrified of being awkward. You're like, okay, I'm going to get really good at socializing and get really good social intelligence, and then I'll never be awkward again. But bro, awkwardness is necessary. Awkwardness is a sign that your brain has learnt that the thing that you did does not align with your confident self, if that makes sense. So you have to try every single possibility, find which ones are awkward, and find those few ways of being yourself that work. It's like someone who plays tennis, right? And they're learning tennis. Let's say they want to learn how to serve. They're gonna, first serve they're gonna do, it's gonna completely miss the court, fail. Second serve they do is not gonna hit, etc., etc. They have to try hundreds of times practicing serving till they can do a really good serve. It's the same thing with you, bro. If you want to have a really good conversation with someone, you have to practice hundreds of times being awkward, messing up, stumbling over your words, so that your brain can make the connections, the neural network connections, and learn exactly what works. So you got to stop seeing being awkward as failure. You got to see being awkward as growth. It's like a beginner tennis player thinking that they can beat a professional without ever messing up a serve in practice, without ever missing a shot. Just watch a ton of videos, read a ton of books till he's the perfect social guy, till he's the perfect tennis player and can win. Bro, it doesn't work like that. That's called perfectionism, and it's gonna hold you back, bro. In studying, you have to go through a lot of failures. You have to get questions wrong when you're studying to learn. And I'll explain to you exactly how to do this, bro. So you don't want to go really, really far outside of your comfort zone. Like you don't want to go, okay, I'm going to have the perfect interaction with this person. I'm going to say hi to them and then we're going to become best friends. You need to lean slightly outside of your comfort zone. So here's exactly how you do it. For every social interaction or social situation, you want to have one intention that you're working on. So it's something that you struggle with. Let's say, for example, there's Becky in maths class, okay? And you never talk to her. Don't make it your goal, okay, I'm going to talk to Becky in maths class, we're going to have an amazing conversation, we're going to become best friends, and that's successful. And if that doesn't work, then I'm a failure. No. You have one intention. So you're not even talking to Becky, right? So your intention could be, okay, I want to start a conversation with her. So you go, okay, tomorrow I'm going to sit next to Becky in maths class, and I'm going to say, hey, how you doing, Becky? And whatever happens after that, doesn't matter. Be your shy, awkward self. Be like, hey, Becky, how you doing? And she's like, good, how are you? And you'd be like, good, whatever. Consider that a success if you meet your intention. And because, bro, when you consider success as having successful interactions, getting good reactions, making friends, then your goal becomes making friends, and your goal doesn't become working on the skill. The skill should be your priority. Because, bro, you got two paths right now. The first path is that you stay nice and comfortable exactly where you are. You continue having no friends, you continue having no girls, and you die alone. But you're nice and comfortable, right? Or the other path, you go outside your comfort zone, you have a ton of awkward moments, thousands of awkward moments. You even be creepy, but you become who you want to be. You get successes in your life. You make friends. You can actually procreate, like you can actually reproduce. You can have the path of awkwardness or the path of loneliness. Those are the two options. What are you going to pick? Like maybe in a social interaction, you might make it the intention to, crack a joke. Or in another one, you might make the intention to improve your eye contact. Or maybe you'll make it the intention to stay in the conversation as long as possible. Because maybe normally you try to get out of conversations as fast as possible. Or maybe you'll make it an intention to speak more on the questions they ask you. Because what I used to do is whenever someone would ask me a question, I would answer it as short as possible and then put the conversation onto them. So, bro, I hope this video helped. Leave a like and subscribe if it helps, bro. I'll keep giving you my mindsets, giving you my experiences. And, bro, I'm still growing too. I'm still trying to improve my social skills and push my comfort zone, bro. So follow me on this journey as well. See you in the next one, bro. Click on this video right now.